Hello and welcome to another book review with Brimbank Libraries. Today I'm going to be talking about This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal El-Mohtar and Max Gladstone. Now this is an award-winning science fiction novella. It won the Hugo and the Nebula Awards when it came out, and it really is something special. Now if you're a reader of science fiction like me, you've probably read quite a few time travel stories, and I love them, but this is a time travel story with a difference because it's original, and if you've read a lot of time travel stories like I have, you'll realise how rare that is. It's different from the standard going back in time to assassinate the evil dictator, or going back in time to save the family member from the tragedy, which you see so often in science fiction time travel stories that it kind of becomes like the movie Groundhog Day, but without the jokes. This is different. This is big picture, like epoch-spanning, mind-expanding stuff. Basically, this is the story of two agents who work for two competing factions with very different views of how the future should be. On one side, you've got Red, who works for the agency, who are trying to bring about in the far future a technological utopia. On the other side, you have Garden, that the agent known as Blue works for. And Garden is an organic-based utopia, and they're trying to bring about a future where they dominate. Now these two factions, to do this, are sending their agents way back in time, to manipulate events, to manipulate history, to privilege their version of how things should be. So Red and Blue are going back in time and assassinating people, changing the course of battles, sometimes even doing things like living in a Mongolian village as a villager for 30 years, just to change the tiniest thing that will privilege their faction's version of the future. So these two agents, Red and Blue, who are the main characters of the story, are fighting each other back and forth across time. When one day, Blue, after a huge battle that the two agents are trying to change, leaves a note for Red, and Red finds the note. And instead of reporting it to her superiors on a whim, she decides, you know what, I'm going to send a note back. They're kind of bragging against each other, mocking each other, sending sort of smart-ass, sarcastic things, that kind of thing. And this starts an ongoing conversation across the millennia, across different histories and time zones, medieval Europe, ancient Rome, whatever. And they're sending these messages back and forth and hiding this correspondence from their superiors as they actually start to become more than rivals, almost friendly. And a relationship between them starts to develop, which sees them starting to wonder about what they're doing and whether or not what they're doing is right. And feelings even begin to develop. Now, I don't usually go in for what you could call a love story. Certainly, I don't really go to science fiction for love stories. When I think love stories in books, I think books with titles like The Sheik's Reluctant Lover. Now, that's not for me. If you enjoy that stuff, all power to you, but it's not for me. But this, as a burgeoning friendship and love story, is just fantastic. There's tension, action, betrayal. It spans thousands of years and countless realities. There's pathos. I just savoured the whole story like a fine scotch. It's really, really great. We have a copy here at Brimbank Libraries, so if you'd like to get it, please contact us. We can reserve it for you. If I was to give it a rating out of 5, it would definitely be 5 blue police boxes out of 5. If you do find some time to read this book, we would love to hear how you go with it, so please let us know how you found This Is How You Lose the Time War.